Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, there's two great quotes, I think, on this. One was the now President of the United States when he said that the cap-and-trade bill would, quote, necessarily skyrocket electricity rates, end quote. My friend Mr. Doyle, who stepped out, good friend of mine, also said, even in the conversation, that they hope that these allocations would serve to, quote, mitigate price spikes. It is very clear to anyone who reads the language that electricity prices are going up because of this. In Michigan, and Mr. Upton brought up a great example, not only do we have an RPS fee that's going to be associated with every bill in the state of Michigan, but both of the companies went in, and one asked for an 11% increase, and the other is an 18% increase, and both are before our public commissions today. 11 and 18% increases on their, and on top of that, a renewable portfolio standard fee that's going to be charged to every consumer at the end of the month. 1 in 3 Michigan families are behind over 30 days in their electricity bill. 1 in 3. 1 in 3. What this bill says is we're just not going to crush you. We know you guys can't have big fancy lobbyists and who help negotiate the bill and can discuss very complicated allocations of 35% that really don't mean 35%, that deal with future contract purchases and the fluctuating price. They don't care. They know that they got a refrigerator that they have to have electricity to keep their food cold and fresh for their family. They know that when their kids get on the computer, it costs them more money to do their homework. That's what they know. And they know that they just want somebody somewhere to stand up and say, hey, what about me? What about the little guy? I'm having a hard time making my house payment, and as the statistics show, 1 in 3 houses can't even make their electric bill payment on time. And all we're asking is give them a break, please. Don't do this to them. Because if the whole idea of cap and trade works, you've got to make it more expensive. And these companies can't absorb it all. They've got to find new ways to invest in alternative forms of energy. So if that's what you want, it has to be more expensive. And consumers have to pay for it. We talk about billions of dollars. Where do you think it's coming from? Well, we're going to borrow it from China to try to give to the utility company that has a guaranteed rate of return. Anybody think that's a good idea? And the person who gets up every day and is trying to make his job or her job work, who gets her kids on the bus and drives to work and just hopes at the end of the day somebody's thinking about them. Because they weren't in the room, I'll guarantee you that. And if you got in the room, you got taken care of. If you weren't in the room, sorry, you're going to pay for this thing. This has real consequences for real families. And all this is an insurance marker. If you believe what you say, this bill means nothing. This amendment means nothing. It won't be a problem. But if you don't, and you do worry that the President of the United States was right when he said electric bills will skyrocket, and my good friend Mr. Doyle said that they're going to have to mitigate spiking prices, okay. I don't think the intention here is wrong, but let's build in a little protection for the little guy, the person who's still trying to build something in America, who's still trying to make their truck payment and their electric bill payment, and try to figure out after all of that, after their 401k is now a 101k, how they get their kids through school. This is the wrong time to not protect the little guy who's trying to pay these bills.
The gentleman yield?
I will yield. Yes, sir. My time. It's very clear, and Mr. Terry did a fantastic job of going through how the 35% really isn't even 35%. And it's submitted for the record. I'll give you a copy of it. And that's the problem when you get all these complicated allocations for people who, this corporation gets this allocation, and if you build this, you get this allocation. And electricity producing companies, you're going to get this based on this with this formula. And I'll tell you what all of that complication means. It means the guy who's paying the electric bill is going to get the shaft. That's what that means. And that's what it clearly spelled out when they broke down the allocation. That's why because it's based on nothing. You've created this allocation cap based on what you think is right. That's the problem. It's not based on real science. You picked a cap, and then you broke a pot of money, and then you decided you were going to take 35%, and oh, by the way, here are the exceptions to that 35% and how you can spend it. And they go to the PUC and say, we're losing money, we're guaranteed a rate of return. You have to pay the bill at the end of the day. That's why. Just give them the insurance. That's all I'm asking. Please give these people the insurance they need.